Howdy! Welcome back to Worms! So, today I have some sad news. So, if you haven't heard, if you're a Chicago student, housing lottery's been postponed until after the end of the quarter. The quarter doesn't end until June, so I still don't know where I'm going to be living next year. I was supposed to find that out this week. So, my plan for this project is to continue just making the first rainbow strand until I have enough that I'm pretty certain that it'll work in any room, and once I've figured out what's going on with fall quarter. So, today we're going to be starting with the yellow worm. So today, you're going to learn about all my problems about theater theater for young audiences, and you're going to watch me put worms together. My main problem with theater for young audiences is that most of the time the people that write it assume that their audience is stupid. And I don't know how to break it to these people, but kids aren't dumb. Kids know what's happening, and they're very cognizant of the world around them. They may be a little less mature, they may have less world experience, but that doesn't mean that they're dumb. And so I find most theater for young audiences, or TYA as I'm going to call it from now on because it's shorter, just irritating. I mean, there's even some stuff that isn't really TYA, but it's stuff with like teenage characters that I just don't think is good. And I'll get to that later. So, theater for young audiences. I think when done thoughtfully, the concept isn't that bad. I think good theater for young audiences would be like, you know, you just kind of remove the sex, the drugs, the swearing, and then you're fine. But that's just me. 'Cause, like, by the time kids are out of elementary school, like, they have a very good vocabulary. They're very aware of what's going on. And, like, they deserve to be treated as such. And I think it's really disrespectful when playwrights don't recognize that. I did a little bit of theater for young audiences in elementary school. I think I thought it was fun, but also like a little bit dumb. I don't remember, I was like 11. But there are some serial offenders, and I've been talking with certain people about this, and they know who they are. But my God, there's I feel like adults forget to empathize with children when it comes to this sort of thing. 'Cause like, kids are people. I know, isn't that shocking? Remarkable, absolutely revolutionary statement. I should be a psychologist. No, I shouldn't. And the minute that you forget to recognize that, and you forget that they have agency and control over their lives, you start doing pretty bad things. So, in addition to TYA, I just have such a huge problem with the way that kids and teenagers, particularly teenagers, are written in theater. Because teenagers, yeah, they exist in this like transitional phase between like adulthood and childhood, and you're like not quite sure where you stand, and oh man, you're like not able to like vote or drive until you're halfway through high school, but also like you have all these responsibilities and you're expected to plan out the rest of your life in 4 years. We love the American educational system. I see it a lot in musical theater. I don't think people write teenagers into plays as much because of like labor laws, which understandable. But if you're writing TYA for I actually scratch that. This summer I saw a musical written for teenagers. I'll give the writers credit, they really tried. but if you write teenagers to be like adulthood light, no one's gonna like that, because teenagers are fully functioning people. They're just maybe a little smaller and a little less mature and going through really weird, like, physical changes and stuff. But that doesn't mean that they should be, written down to. I'm 19. I'm a teenager still. We're complex individuals. I am capable of, sounding like an adult on the internet and in person. I like to think that I am moderately well-spoken, and, like many teenagers are. So writing them in shows, and then casting like 25 and 30-year-olds to play them, but that's a whole nother conversation. Writing them in shows just to be like, where they're like, care about is like parties and being popular, when like the whole concept of popularity has shifted so much since most of the people that are making theater now were in high school. Because like with the advent of the internet, a lot of things changed about high school culture. Like, I mean, yeah, there were some kids that were like the ones that went to all the football games and were on prom court and all that, but like that's not the end-all be-all in high school anymore, because it's kind of about finding your people, which I didn't, but to each their own. You find your people in college, folks. Just writing how it clicks and stuff. I hate to use this expression, but that's like so 90s. Because as technology has become more and more of a dominant cultural force, people have become more connected and found more people with their interests, and people are very accepting of other people being weird, because we're all a little weird in some way. Back onto theater for young audiences, because I got on a little bit of a tangent about certain things in the modern and in Broadway that I don't like. Yeah, I did a couple of TYA musicals in elementary school. I had to do a bunch of that stuff in middle school, and even by the time I was in middle school, I was reading the scripts for these plays. I already was like, do they think we're stupid? Do they think that just because, like, I'm 13 years old, I won't understand, like, I don't know. I just remember this one about Greek mythology that we did, and, oh god, I had to be, like, I don't even remember, and it was so simple. And I understand, like, keeping things simple for the sake of, like, things not crashing and burning, but it was simplistic in the terms of, like, the language and the concepts it handled and stuff. And by the time you're in middle school, you're already an angsty tween. And angsty tweens want, something with substance. I understand TYA for, like, elementary school, maybe early middle school, but by the time someone's in high school, like, you should be doing the full-blown thing. There's really no excuse, unless it's something like, I don't know. There's certain things that, like, you shouldn't be doing in high schools just by virtue of, like, the difficulty. It's hard for me to pull things up by name right now. Yeah, oh wow, I'm done. That was fast. Time flies when you're ranting about TYA. Because, I mean, in addition to my problems with TYA, I have problems with women in theater, but I can talk about that next week. I actually remembered this time. Now I have quite the scarf. I am am so very excited for the rest of this project. Thank you so much for watching and listening to me rant. This has been Worms 3, part 3 of many.